Hello, and welcome to the August 2022 Folklore and Fiction podcast. My name is Kelly MacCath-Moran. I'm a PhD candidate in the Folklore department at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and I'm also a writer, poet, and musician under the pseudonym C.S. MacCath. The Folklore and Fiction podcast and Dispatch synthesize these passions with a focus on folklore scholarship aimed at storytellers. You'll find the Folklore and Fiction archive along with the rest of my work online at folkloreandfiction.com. Interested listeners will find a link to the current dispatch in the show notes, where a more comprehensive record of this episode can be found, including a bibliography and other references. This month, I'm utilizing an Israeli fable to discuss the ways folkloristic and literary analysis can help you adapt and subvert traditional narrative themes. Let's jump right in. The span of a man's life. When the Holy One created Adam, he showed him the beauty of the world and said, "You will rule over all you see, and you will be very happy." "How long will I be able to enjoy all this goodness?" inquired Adam. 30 years, was the answer. "Such a short time?" asked Adam in surprise. "Could you not add a few extra years?" The Holy One, blessed be He, meditated and answered, "I shall call a few animals. Maybe they will be prepared to grant you some extra years of life as a gift." The first to appear was the donkey. Said the Holy One, blessed be He, "Your fate is to work hard, to carry burdens, and to eat a little grass in your master's courtyard." "How many years will I live?" asked the donkey. 40, came the answer. "Why must I suffer for so many years?" brayed the donkey in a sad voice. "I shall be satisfied with half that time, 20 years. The Holy One, blessed be He, gave the extra 20 years to Adam, who was radiant with joy and happiness. With this gift, he would live for 50 years. Then the Holy One, blessed be He, spoke to the dog. "Your fate is to be a faithful friend of your master, and to guard him and his property. Your reward will be to eat scraps of food and receive blows and kicks." "How many years will I live?" asked the dog. 40, came the answer. "Why should I suffer for so many years?" barked the dog in a sad voice. "Half that time, 20 years, is enough for me." So the Holy One, blessed be He, took 20 years from the dog's life and added them to the life of Adam, who was radiant with joy and happiness. With this gift, he would live for 70 years. The Holy One, blessed be He, then spoke to the monkey, saying, "Your fate is to walk on 2 feet, and to make men laugh at your gait, for it is very queer to him. As for food, you will be thrown scraps from time to time." "How many years will I live?" asked the monkey. 60 years, was the answer. "Why so long? Half that time is enough for me." So the Holy One, blessed be He, took the 30 years from the monkey's life and gave them as a gift to Adam, who was radiant with joy and happiness because he would live an extra 30 years. Since that time, the lifespan of man has been 100 years divided into 4 periods. The first period is until the age of 30, when a man enjoys the years of his own life to the full and is strong, independent, and carefree. In the second period, from 30 to 50 years, he is usually married and a father. He has the burden of earning a living and providing for his family. To satisfy his children's and his wife's needs, he works like a donkey. These are the 20 years of a donkey's life. In the third period, from 50 to 70 years, a man serves his children and guards their property as a faithful dog. Usually, he does not eat at his children's table. These are the 20 years of a dog's life. Then comes the last period. This episode of the Folklore and Fiction podcast is a preview, and you can listen to the full episode on the Folklore and Fiction website. Just click on the dispatch link in the show notes or go to folkloreandfiction.com and sign up for a free account. Thanks very much for your interest. Copyright 2019 to 2023. Kelly S. MacCath-Moran. All rights reserved unless Creative Commons licensing is specifically applied.